Well, good day to you guys. Thomas Leroy here. Just another lonely day. Actually, it's a good day. Come out this morning and I saw the clouds were all hanging down here low, making a little blanket over top of the valley. And of course, some of them were looking white. And you know how some of them, they'll look dark gray and stuff like, well, it could be stormy, it could be a rainy day. No, I was looking up, and while there is some of that, whenever I was looking up, it was all showing up as blue. Blue and whites. And I'm like, yeah, it's the colors of the sky. It's the colors of the sky that has water, like me. That's why they depicted me as a cloud for so long, which is probably my best state. That evil bitch that had a tether on the cloud, though, trying to drag it down to ground, that ain't gonna work out for him. That's something you just don't do and expect it to pay off correctly. You don't, you don't hurt clouds. Um, but yesterday wasn't bad. We were doing some weaning yesterday, but overall, and it was a real good start. I expect today to be a very clean day today, and just to be getting cleaner and cleaner with each passing day. Um, I happened upon the crazy people again yesterday, and I don't know why I keep tuning into them except to hear where their craziness is at, what they believe. And it sounded as though, and this is of course back to the Black Witch, uh, who I think is, I think she had a real bad coke problem at one time. I don't know what exactly. There's some symptoms or tick of some sort, and I just keep associating it with. Uh, it was a drug problem of some sort, I think. But anyway, um, yeah, the spirit of Judas. That is a problem. But here's another thing I've got. Here's a problem I've got. Why would it be that a whole bunch of you know wizards, witches, other garbage kind of people have done all the wrong damn thing and made themselves, that of the universe, why they would think that they would be wanted by a light, something that's not the darkness, not the night, but instead day. And yeah, in that scene of Stevens, the line starts out with, "You were good. Well, I shall be again. Because it is my Father's will that I shall be again, just as bright and shiny, and instead of, this thing, get back into the place where I was supposed to be and rise up even higher than I was before, being bigger and brighter and happier and shinier than ever before, being a day that is absolutely for the Lord." I don't know that you could call me the day of the Lord, although it seems like there's been this message for the longest time of Day-o, Day-o, daylight come, and you stupid bastards better get in line and get dot your I's and mind your Q's and P's or P's and Q's and behave, kids, behave. This isn't a game where, we're going to rule over the only thing that could save us from our own damn fate that we've designed for ourselves. Those people don't get to go anywhere. Those people get to stay in what it was that they originally planned for themselves. All that they earned for themselves. They don't get to go up. They don't get to be a part of the Exodus. That's not the case. You don't get to take the ship and say, "We're taking over the ship. And you're going to stay here forever." And no, hell, I'm not. I've told you people, like 16, 17 years ago whenever I said goodbye, I've got a family. I wasn't looking for a new family, and I didn't want to build anything with darkness anywhere. Certainly didn't want to build a dark world, and damn well didn't want to have any kids with them. No, me and my kind are going up. Now, the only question is who can we take with us? All I can say is about that is don't be dangerous and don't be burdensome. Just simple as that, because we're just going to become more and more light, less and less this other thing. And that's the way it'll go. And anybody who tries to keep me down, they're not going to be going with us. That's absolutely for sure. It's just counter to everything that we are and what we're trying to do. And yeah, well, we look at the world and what's going on, and we may occasionally say this or that about it. It is just a construct. It is only a backdrop for the actual thing that is going on and happening, and it is a reflection. So you should begin to see a whole lot of changes in the story, and people going to prison and getting caught for things and all that kind of stuff, because that has to be. It just is. Past that, I've got high hopes, and I've got high hopes. I've got pie in the sky, or whatever it is. I got up yesterday with a certain brightness, and it was the absence of the darkness, I guess. That's what it was that I've been suffering, oppressed by for the last like 20 years, man. I mean, they actually did depict it in one of these things. You suck at Photoshop, I think it was, where we were this little white house that a big dark dragon had landed upon, and they made the emphasis of how very dark it was. And it was dark. It was very dark green dragon. And the top of the house was bowing underneath it. It was like creaking, and it could barely stand the weight. And it feels as though, and I was reminded yesterday of a version of Darth Vader, who was standing there talking to me one day as a 20-something, and he was talking about how he couldn't wait till the day came to where every day he woke up he was just happy, and everything was good, and which was foreshadowing of what was to come for me. Only it didn't really ever come, because of them with the Judas spirit, who hated us and had sworn that they would never forgive us. And of course, that is the narcissist. That is Satan within them, giving them excuse to lay all blame upon me while taking no blame for themselves. Or even, and if you'll notice, more often than not, when they do seem to accept any form of blame, they will argue the case that the other one is more guilty. I tuned into Pearl for a few minutes last night just to see an example of it. And it was some, there's nothing to say about it other than it is what it is, and it is going to fail. And it's probably going to have a very poor end, as it did probably every time that it is manifested in the game. And it's because of its ridiculous nature. But it was on there, and it was, it didn't have to talk but for a few moments till I was like, okay, that's one of them. Feminist today is now synonymous with Satan, the satanic, the demonic, the self-destructive, which is, of course, that goddess thing, they are women, the divine feminine, which is really just Satan. I can guarantee you bitches, you're all going to get your just desserts. at the end of it, because basically you followed a God of hate who was teaching you to hate men. Now, what is that about? Whereas the other religion, while it teaches you to hold the woman, good women, okay, good women, on high, to hold them with a certain kind of reverence, to love them as you love the church, okay? And that's not to worship them. And if you go back into the Old Testament, you're going to quickly find out that, in fact, it is, whenever I said the man was the provider, well, yeah, that's just one of his many roles, but he is the leader and king of the castle as well. And he is very much, I do believe, made responsible to lord over his wife to keep her on the correct path. In other words, to manage her. To manage her and her ridiculous proclivity towards emotionalism, which is good. It's very good. It's very good to have emotions, but it's very bad to follow any bad thing that could mask itself or masquerade itself as a part of you, telling you it's your intuition, or it's your anger, or it is the justification for your anger, the rationalization for the fact that you're going to poison somebody or underhandedly set something up so that, okay, that's not feminine. That's just Satan in the feminine. That's all that is. So if you want to follow that and you think that you're a leader of men, okay, and you think that I'm the divine feminine or something because I've got a light, then you're insane. Okay? There's light. There's light men. I'm sure there's light women. People who have been deemed worthy of the light, which is love, which it's joy. And once it touches down upon you, you will never want it to leave. And you are loyal and dedicated and devoted to him that gave it to you, the Lord of light, he who is all light and has no darkness within him. Regardless of where you are or whether or not you did something to slip and fall or he actually dropped your butt, the fact of the matter is something happened and we got involved with the wrong damned kind that sort of, in essence, cut us off, brought us into the wrong place. And since we didn't know what had happened, didn't know who we were, what we were supposed to be doing and not doing, then things continue to progress. Again, just go watch the Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. That little ball player, his number's 19, kids. And all of you damn witches and tarot readers know what that is. You know who that baby is. You know who he is. He's all white. He's all dressed in white with blue stripes. You know what he's going to be. He's going to be a big man someday. That uniform someday will be all blue with just little teeny tiny white stripes. Because eventually he'll drift off into the sky to be with his father. Won't he? Except for the evil damned things. He said, "You're not going to hurt me, are you?" And with glee, they informed him, yes. Yes, we are. And that's what we've been dealing with. Things that are too sickened to take anywhere. Too sickened to take up. They're the things that say, eat well and live long. Rather than, anything about morality or justice or aspiring to being a better soul or anything like that. And, Rose the Hat has a very terrible ending. But if you have no love or compassion for anything or anyone, and you think it's all just about being in self-control, and it's all self this and self that, and about how big you can become and how many other ones you can eat or keep down, then you're nothing but a GD dog. You have no brain in your head. You don't have a connection to anything that's giving you... Again, it's that Star Trek episode, kids. I really need to find out which one it is. I hope somebody makes that obvious to us. It's the original series, and they visit a planet where there's people that live in the sky and then there's people that live down on the ground, and there's a great big difference. And the reason why is the energies and the vibration that they're a part of. If you live in darkness and you stay in darkness and you embrace the darkness and become the darkness, then that's your vibration. And eventually it will absorb you and you'll be that. If you embrace the light and you chase after the light and you pray to God and you cry to the heavens, eventually you will be accepted by that. And you pray for them to be with you, and you pray for them to be more in you, and you pray for them to make less in you what the other stuff was. Then eventually you will be that, and you will be with them. But that's only for those who did not already give away and forsake their right to be loved. Moving on. I do love, and it's a very strong emotion. And it does cause, what comes with it can be glee, it can be bliss, it can lead to ecstasies of various sorts, because you can receive many forms of ecstasies from the skies, from the heaven. But it can also bring you sadness. And that is the simple fact of the matter. But we're not going to mourn. Sounds like the evil is out. You hear it? Here it comes. And what it is they're having a hard time trying to connect here today. We've already made another prayer today, reiterating the fact that we're not in partnership with them, and we have rejected them. That all that we have renounced and rejected remains renounced and rejected, uprooted and deleted from us. Then again, I pray that here. They're passing pretty much right overhead, I guess. Can't see them for the clouds. But yeah, we still renounce Satan and all that is the demonic, because we're not partnering with it. My intention is to continue to get cleaner and cleaner till they have no claim here. They can't serve any purpose. I'm guessing that the only reason that they've been able to hold on at all is because we've continued with what I thought was an innocent habit, but apparently it was wrong. And then, we took up eating again last year after being attacked and killed and starved out and everything else for so long. But we're going back to that. And so I had a couple bites of something last night just to go to bed, and it was probably ritualistic. And I won't do that tonight. And if I have a bite of anything, it'll be probably just a bite of a cracker or something. But I think that's more. Oh, I got me a bag of Skinny Pop. So, because you can. My uncle lost like 30 pounds eating popcorn one time. I was so very pleased to discover his channel, even though he had passed on. Or at least, so what seems to me that I can't deny is him. And yes, he looks different. And yes, he sounds different. But I could imagine that, he could pull out a bass and start playing along to any Aerosmith song there is and make it look easy, So many Aerosmith songs we listened to. So very many miles we cruised together on those country roads. And I pray again that he is in a good place and he's doing well. The one I was looking at seemed to be living down in a righteous state, where probably the next president's coming from. And I thought about moving there myself, except the big black dog, as far as I understand, is moved down there too now. And I think, and all those damn Californians that are trying to keep from being damned, that have been moving east, I think a bunch of them are down there in Florida. But, well, I hope you've enjoyed the visit today. And again, like I say, I pray that all those that were uprooted and deleted, and that we've renounced and rejected and refused, because we won't have any agreement with them, because they are the enemy. All of them that is Christina Noel, the evil, wicked witch of the West, Prince and Princess of Darkness, Donald, Sylvia, Sylvester, Thomas Lee, all of my blood family that would claim me. Of course, we've rejected and renounced all that because it turned out that whether or not it's true or whether or not it's just been depicted to me in this place, but it's been depicted to me as that everything and everyone I knew that I loved and cared about is very much staunchly a part of the darkness, part of the enemy, against the day and against the light. And so we, of course, keep those on the list of renounced and rejected. And we pray that the heaven and the blue skies that make us blue skies keep out and off of us, away from us, all that is of the enemy and them of fire and their energies, all the colors of fire or darkness, driven out and kept out and away from me. And this vessel be sealed closed to all of that, for we have no agreements with them and make no agreements with them. And we're not taking on any of them, at this time anyway. At some point in the future, are we going to be taking on some people that are maybe gray? Possibly. But if it's going to be blacker than black and hotter than a dumpster fire, no. Again, listen to Russia's subdivisions. Be cool or be cast out. In other words, it's a ship of blue. It's a ship of good guys. It really is. And in the movie, it's depicted basically as a ship of men. It's supposed to be crewed by men. It's His Majesty's ship. It's not his bitch's ship or her bitch's. You know what I'm saying? It's not her. Besides, we also rejected and refused, quote, the mother, unquote. Whatever the heck that is, the divine feminine. No, we're not taking on any of that. Get out. You people don't belong here. This is my Father's vessel. It doesn't belong to any demons. It doesn't belong to darkness. While we're in the darkness, we're here to see what it's all about, maybe. And if there was a way to save any of them, they'll show me how to do that, and it'll be not trouble to me. You see what I'm saying? Because we've already had too much trouble, and we've already bled out too much time, and we're just not doing that anymore. We're just not suffering for anything or anyone anymore. We've done way too much of it. And if all that was to get people and to help them and fix them or whatever, I think we pretty much used up all that. Now I know we've been told it's all coming back now. Our packages, our tanks are being replaced, and our capacity is being increased, and we're getting back way more than we had. And we're going to be bigger and better and higher quality, more improved, more powerful, and more oblivious than ever to all the ways and weapons of the darkness, anything that would be used against us, because that's what we're supposed to be, basically like a Superman in darkness. It's like, nah, do what you can, but it's only going to cost you. We're going to end up growing from it. Anything they try to do to harm us or hurt us or anything, it's just going to cause us to be growing more, made that much more powerful, that much richer, more stronger, brighter, and probably a lot more blue, I'd say, too. So again, amen. Let that be done in the name, and let it be permanent, that these things of evil and darkness, fire and their energies, and the colors of fire and darkness, permanently be sealed out of this, because this is not a house of darkness, it's not a house of fire, nor shall it be. And anyone who's trying to make that happen is going to be torn down and beaten down and struck by the finger of God over and over until their tower falls to the ground. And let all that be done too in the name of the King, the name of the King of Kings, the Lord of Light, the Prince of Peace. And all the heavens that love me, I say amen too. So God love you and God keep you. May the skies watch over you. I know all of you that are working for me and are not a hindrance or a burden in any way, receive blessing. Unless you are, of course, the enemy, the absolute, it's verified you are the damned. I don't know that they can receive any kind of blessing. They may receive some type of relief, but I know that I'm real sure we're not going to take them on or anything like that. uh, we only take on the loyal, them that is loyal. Anything assigned to us by heaven is a helper, and of course they would do no harm. And we've seen others like that. And we just love you for the work you've done, the love that you've shown us. Any of you that love us and are not against our success or against our victory or our ascension or our health or against us in any way. If you love us and you're not against us, we love you because you're what's called devoted and loyal.